Dear students, in a series of stresses, a chapter on stresses, now today we are going to see direct and bending stress. Now, after having studied bending stress and shear stress in the earlier chapters of this subject, mechanics of structure, today we shall be dealing with direct and bending stress. So in this chapter, first of all, we will see the two types of loading. One is known as the axial loading and the other one is the eccentric loading. Now you clearly look at this figure. Here we have a column. The column, the width is B and the thickness is D, and this is the elevation of the column. Here we have provided a load through the axis of the beam, that is the CG line of the beam. If you see the plan over here, just at the CG, the load has been applied. So when the load coincides with the axis of the column, or the load passes through the axis of the column, then we call that as axial loading. Now you look at this figure here. Now the same column is here. This is the axis or the CG line of the column. Now in this case, we have provided the load a little distance away from the axis of the column. So in this case, what do we see is the line of action of the force is not coinciding with the axis of the column. So this type of loading we call as eccentric loading. Now again, come to this figure. When we provide an axial loading on the column, then the column is subjected to a uniform direct stress at all the sections of the column. So what is that direct stress? The value of that direct stress will be equal to this load will give a direct stress equal to P by A. This will give a direct stress equal to P by A. P is the load and A is the area of the cross section. Where is the area? This is our area. You see over here. This is the area. So what is the area? This distance is B, or we can say here this is B and the thickness here as D. So B into D is the area. So the load divided by the area, this area of the column will give direct stress, and it will be uniform at all the sections, will be equal to P by A. This is the stress diagram of this direct stress. So I hope you have been able to understand how the direct stress comes into this column due to the effect of this axial loading. Now you come to this column here. Here, as we have said, the load has been provided a little further away from the axis of the column. So that means what is the distance between the load line and the axis line? So this is the distance between the load line and the axis line. So this distance is known as eccentricity, and this eccentricity is denoted by E. Now if there is an eccentric load on the column, then in this case the column will be subjected to both direct stress as well as bending stress. In this case, we have seen this column is subjected to only direct stress because there is an axial loading. But now since in this case there is an eccentric loading, the column will be subjected to both direct stress as well as bending stress. The direct stress will be equal to the same value P by A, that is the load divided by the cross-sectional area. Cross-sectional area is this B into D. And what will be the bending stress? Bending stress, as you might have studied in the bending stress chapter, that will be equal to M by Z. The bending stress will be equal to M by Z, and this could be either positive or negative. Now why positive and negative? Because of this load, this column will bend in this manner. The column will bend in this manner. So this fiber we can see is subjected to tension, and we can see this fiber is subjected to compression. So at this edge B at this edge B, since this is compression, this is positive, this will be indicated by positive, and at this edge, since this is the tensile stress, and that will be indicated by a negative value. So that's why it is positive M by Z or negative M by Z. So your combined stress, what will be your combined stress? Your combined stress will be equal to P by A plus minus M by Z. Your combined stress will be equal to, let me write somewhere. Let me write over here. Your combined stress will be equal to P by A plus minus M by Z in this case. So that means P by A is the direct stress and M by Z is the bending stress, which may be either compressive or it may be tensile. Okay. Now what is this M? M is the bending moment. Why bending moment? Because of this eccentric loading. Because of this eccentric loading, the column will be subjected to bending moment. And what will be the value of that bending moment? The value of that bending moment will be equal to P into E. The value of bending moment will be equal to P into E. That is the load into the perpendicular distance. P is the load and E is the eccentricity of the load. So P into E will be the bending moment. So here you see here uniform direct stress will be, the symbol we have used is FD. FD will be equal to P by A as discussed over here, load by area, and bending stress will be equal to, as I have told you, bending stress will be equal to M by Z plus minus M by Z. Now bending moment we find like this, bending moment M equal to P into E, load into the eccentricity, and as has been said, bending stress is given by plus minus M by Z. If it is compressive, it is positive, and if it is tensile, it is negative. And what is Z? Z is the section modulus of the section. This also you might have studied in the earliest classes. Z is the section modulus. Now in this case, Z is ZYY. Why ZYY? Now you see over here, this is the YY axis and this is the XX axis. Where is the load line? The load line is falling at the XX axis. So we have to find the section modulus about the YY axis. If the load is somewhere here along the Y axis, then we have to find the section modulus about the XX axis. So in this case, since the load line is along the XX axis, so the section modulus will be about this Y axis, which will be equal to, in this case, dB square by 6. So this is D, or this is D, we can say this as D, and this is B. So dB square by 6 is the section modulus. So what is the maximum stress then? Then the maximum stress at B, at this point, maximum stress at B will be equal to direct stress plus bending stress. FD plus FB, that is direct stress plus bending stress, is P by A direct stress plus M by Z bending stress. This is the compressive stress at this edge. At the edge B, this is compressive stress because this value will be positive. And what is the minimum stress? Minimum stress will be F minimum is equal to P by A minus M by Z, that is direct stress minus the bending stress. Now this value can either be positive or it can be negative. If the value of P by A is more than M by Z, then it is a positive value, that means compression at this edge also. But if the value of M by Z is more than P by A, if the value of bending stress is more than the value of the direct stress, we'll get here as a negative value. So that indicates there will be tensile stress on this edge A. So what is the combined stress? The resultant stress, it is P by A plus minus M by Z. Okay, now let us work out in another way also. We can work out in another way also. I have said F max, that is the maximum stress, is equal to P by A plus M by Z, which can be written as P by A plus P into E. Bending moment is P into E. And Z is what? The section modulus, dB square by 6. From here we get P by A plus 6 PE divided by dB square. So again that is equal to P by A plus 6 into PE divided by AB. Now here where this A has come, here dB square. So D into B is what? It is the area. So in place of D into B I have written A. So breadth into depth, that is the area. So D into B has been written as A and 1B is remaining. So 6 into PE by AB. So that is equal to, now again I have taken PA as common. So what I get is 1 plus 6E by B. So what we can write? The maximum stress P by A into 1 plus 6E by B, that is compressive, and minimum stress P by A into 1 minus 6E by B, which may be either compressive or maybe tensile. So in this way we can find out the combined resultant stress. The thing you have to remember is combined stress is equal to, what we can write is combined stress is equal to P by A plus minus M by Z. This we can write in terms of section modulus. In terms of section modulus we can write this, or what we can do is we can write the combined stress is equal to P by A into 1 plus minus 6 into E by B. This we can write in terms of eccentricity. This can be determined. So in this way we can calculate the combined stress in case of a column. So I hope you might have been able to understand the things which I have discussed over here. So in the second part of this video, I will be solving a few problems, say a couple of problems using these equations. Thank you.